Right now, 25 to 30% of every dollar you spend heating your home is going straight out through your windows, not through your walls, not through your roof, through the glass. That is what the Department of Energy has documented and quietly published on their website for years. And here's the part that should make you furious. A $12 kit at any hardware store creates the same insulating effect as a window that costs $1,000 to replace. The same dead air pocket, the same reduction in heat loss, the same physics. For $12, the average American home loses $200 to $300 every single year through window glass alone. This year, last year, every year you have lived in a home with single-pane windows. The reason you have never seen this fix on the cover of a home improvement magazine is not an accident. There is no supply chain behind a $12 solution, no manufacturer, no rebate program, no trade association writing building code language in its favor. The people who profit from your heating bill had no interest in the cheap answer being widely known. In this video, we are going to expose the physics they do not want you to understand, the 2,000-year history behind this solution, and the regulatory structure that makes sure the expensive answer always qualifies for a rebate, while the cheap one never does. It starts with the Romans, who figured this out before their empire fell. In the ruins of Pompeii, archaeologists found something that should have changed everything about how we build homes. Embedded in the window openings of Roman bathhouses and wealthy residences were sheets of a translucent mineral the Romans called lapis specularis, mirror stone. We know it today as selenite, a crystalline form of gypsum. The Romans were not just using it as a window covering, they were using it to trap heat. The great Roman bathhouses maintained interior temperatures of 100 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit, with no furnaces and no modern insulation. Pliny the Elder documented the use of these mineral windows in 77 AD. He was describing a technology that was already generations old. The Romans had figured out that what matters in a window is not the material you can see through. It is the AR you trap behind it. Medieval builders understood this too, even after the mineral sheets were gone. Before affordable glass reached ordinary people, windows were covered in oiled parchment, treated animal skin, or waxed linen, always paired with wooden interior shutters. When you closed the shutter with the membrane still in place, you created a pocket of still AR between two layers. Air that does not move does not carry heat away. The same principle was discovered independently across Europe, across East Asia, across the Islamic world, and across Scandinavia. Every culture that faced a cold winter figured this out with whatever materials they had on hand. This principle is 2,000 years old. It predates the steam engine by 17 centuries. It predates the United States by 15 centuries. And for most of that time, ordinary people built it into their homes for almost nothing. Then, industrial glass manufacturing arrived. Then the modern window industry. And the conversation shifted from, how do we trap air, to how do we sell you a better pane? The physics never changed. The business model did. So why, in a country that spends $400 billion a year on residential energy, are we still paying from $800 to $1,500 per window for a problem that was solved before the fall of Rome? Here is the simplest way to understand what a window actually does to your heating bill. A single pane of glass has an R value of approximately R1. That is less than a half inch of plywood, less than a single layer of cardboard. For context, the walls of a modern home are built to R13 to R21. Your windows are the thermal equivalent of a hole in your wall. But here is what the window industry never wants to be the headline. The glass is not what insulates in a double-pane window. The AR is. The gap between two panes, typically half an inch to 3/4 of an inch, is a pocket of still air or inert gas that heat cannot move through easily. The glass is just the container. The insulation is the air. A plastic window film, installed correctly with a half-inch air gap against the existing glass, creates that same pocket. The film costs $12. The result is documented in Department of Energy weatherization guidance. Window heat loss is reduced by 25 to 50%, depending on installation quality and climate. Apply that to the numbers. The Department of Energy reports that windows and skylights account for 25 to 30% of residential heating energy use. In a home spending $1,200 a year on heat, below average in a cold climate state like Minnesota or Wisconsin, that is $300 to $360 leaving through the glass every year. A 40% reduction in window loss is $120 to $145 back annually. For a home that runs predominantly single-pane windows, the total bill impact can reach 15 to 30%. In older homes with serious air infiltration around frames, the effect is more dramatic still. From a $12 investment, 100 times less. Same physics. The Department of Energy's own Weatherization Assistance Program, which serves tens of thousands of households per year, documents 25 to 35% whole home heating reductions in homes that receive basic weatherization, including window measures. These are not projections. These are measured results in real homes across every climate zone in this country. The cost comparison is the one that should end the conversation. A single professional window replacement costs $800 to $1,500 installed for a mid-range double-pane unit. A 20-window home faces $16,000 to $30,000. A full set of film kits for those same 20 windows costs $200 to $300, 100 times more. Same physics. But the performance data is only half the story. The question is why the $12 version never makes it into the rebate catalog. No one banned plastic window film. No regulator issued an order against it. No law prohibits you from buying a roll at the hardware store. What happened instead is more effective than a ban. The system was built around the expensive answer, and the cheap answer was never designed into it. Here is how it works. The International Residential Code, the building standard adopted by most U.S. states, sets performance requirements for windows in new construction. Those requirements apply to certified manufacturer products only. Certification means laboratory testing, manufacturer compliance protocols, and third-party verification. A hardware store plastic film cannot be certified under this system, not because it does not perform, because it has no manufacturer to certify it. Energy Star, the certification program that earns homeowners rebates on qualifying windows, has the same structure. Manufacturer certification is required. No manufacturer, no certification. No certification, no rebate. A homeowner spending $1,200 per window on Energy Star certified replacement glass qualifies for a federal tax credit of up to 30%. A homeowner spending $12 on film that measurably reduces their heating bill qualifies for nothing. The trade associations that participate in building code development, the National Window and Door Association, and the American Architectural Manufacturers Association, represent the window manufacturing industry. The codes they help shape require certified products. The certified products are the ones their members manufacture. This is not a secret meeting in a back room. The meetings are open. The minutes are published. The outcome is a regulatory environment where the cheap solution is invisible by design. There is no supply chain behind plastic film, no manufacturer lobby, no trade association writing language in its favor at code committee meetings, no magazine running full-page coverage of the $12 fix next to their window replacement advertiser spreads. The certification does not make it better physics. It makes it more profitable for the people who designed the certification. For those willing to look past what the industry sells you, the knowledge is still there, and the materials cost less than a dinner out. If you're building new or doing a major renovation, the right answer is interior storm window inserts, acrylic or thin glass panels fitted inside your existing frames, available for $50 to $200 per window, achieving R2 to R4 improvement over single pane, invisible when installed, long-lasting. Some state utility programs carry them in rebate catalogs. This is the full version. For renters, for homeowners in older houses, for anyone who cannot justify a renovation budget, the accessible version is the plastic shrink film kit. $12 to $20 per window at any hardware store. 3M, Frost King, or any generic brand. They all work the same way. The installation takes 15 to 25 minutes per window. Clean the frame with rubbing alcohol. Apply the included double-sided tape around the perimeter. Press the film sheet to the tape and cut off the excess. Apply a hair dryer to the surface, moving it in slow passes. The heat causes the film to contract and go taut. Within 2 or 3 minutes, you have a sealed air pocket between the film and your window glass. That pocket is doing the same work the gas fill does in a double pane unit. You will notice 2 things immediately. The draft along the bottom of the window frame disappears. The cold radiating off the glass at night becomes significantly less intense. Both are caused by the same thing, air that is no longer moving between your heated room and the cold glass. What this will not do, it is not invisible. It slightly softens the view through the glass, and it needs to come down in spring and go back up in fall. For a permanent solution, the interior storm insert is the answer. For a one-evening fix that starts paying back immediately, this is what 2,000 years of building science actually recommends. If you want to go further, the Department of Energy Weatherization Assistance Program provides free full home weatherization for income qualifying households through your state energy office. For everyone else, the film kit is the highest return per dollar weatherization measure available to any homeowner or renter in any home in this country. So what is the solution? The solution is understanding that this is not a problem that requires a $30,000 renovation. It is a $12 physics problem that the Romans solved before your city existed. Stop paying $200 to $300 a year to heat your glass. That money is not buying you warmth. It is buying your energy company a quarterly bonus. Reject the logic that the only legitimate fix is the certified, rebated, trade association approved $1,500 window. The certification does not make it better. Physics. It makes it more profitable for the people who designed the certification. The people who understand this are not waiting for a rebate. They are buying film kits in October, installing them in an afternoon, and watching their heating bill tell them something different in November. A lot of what this channel covers was nearly lost, not because it stopped working, but because the industry moved on to something more profitable. And if this is the kind of thing that matters to you, sharing this video is the simplest way to make sure it keeps being found. Next week, we are looking at the ancient cooling system that kept buildings 30 degrees colder than the outside air, with no electricity, no refrigerant, and no moving parts, and why the HVAC industry has spent decades making sure you never hear its name. You do not have to pay $300 a year to heat your glass. You never did.